What it do, y'all? Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh no, you're talking like one of those influencers on TikTok.
Oh shit, for real?
Hey everybody.
Oh, was that
Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh god, no.
It's you.
Oh no.
That's what you do.
Hang on, let me try again.
Okay.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Ringside with John and Kendra.
That was better. That was better.
All right, cool. But yeah, welcome back, y'all. It's been a hot minute since
I don't even remember the last time that we recorded anything.
Yeah, I mean,
it must have been a
pre-preview.
A pre-preview.
But yeah, like doing just an episode of the podcast proper. Life has been kind of busy for us.
As we're making steps, we're making swings, we're making pivots. We're, not really pivots.
We're, hang on. Yeah, I should know these moves. What's moves? When you do a spin? Ballet term.
Ooh, I took ballet for 10 years. I have no idea. Spin, turn, pas de bourrée.
Pas de bourrée, pas de bourrée, pas de bourrée, pas de bourrée.
Step ball chains.
We're step ball chaining. We're pas de bourréing. We're sashaying. We're flapping.
Jazz squaring.
Yeah.
Into a new stage of our lives together.
Yeah.
Are we getting married now?
No. Well, maybe.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Am I pregnant? No. God, no.
Yeah. You better not be.
However, we are getting a house. Officially, officially getting a house.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that. Oh, no, sorry.
Ooh, hey.
TM. Rihanna, I guess.
Sorry, that glass sound you heard. I have this tiny little glass of iced coffee.
And I have a mini red Powerade. I feel like a kid again.
I think this was a jar of jelly at some point.
It was, and I cleaned it out because the jar was cute.
Oh, well, it's the perfect size for this tiny little amount of coffee I had left over.
Anyway, we're very busy, just in general. But then on top of that, in February, we began the process of actually buying a house.
Right.
Which is, overwhelming,
stressful,
busy. It's a crazy time, but it's getting to a point where I think it's winding down.
Right.
And then we have to move, and that's going to suck ass.
That will suck, but once we're all moved in,
That'll
be nice.
That's
been crazy, and at the same time, while all of that's been going on, I've been pretty fortunate in my career. Had a few gigs, had some stuff go on at work. So I'm just, kind of busy in a good way, of course. Last week I got to do this new play festival in the area, where I got to read some regional premieres, I got to do some staged readings of some regional premieres in the area, which was super cool. So yeah, it's been a lot. I've been working out like a loon.
Yeah.
Lost, almost 20 pounds. About 20 pounds, actually.
No, it was exactly 20 pounds. Yeah.
Oh, I lost exactly 20 pounds. So that's been cool.
Yeah.
A journey I started back in November, and now we're here. So lots been going on while we've been away from these hot mics.
Yeah, these blazing hot mics. I'm sweating.
Ow, fuck, it burns. But we're happy to be back. We're happy to be back.
And there's a lot to talk about, a lot of time to make up for.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this on a Monday, which you should be because this episode is coming out on a Monday, last night will have been the 95th Academy Awards. Yeah.
Ooh,
it's Oscar season, baby. Hang on, wait. Do you hear that?
It's Oscar.
It's Oscar.
He's knocking on the door.
He's back.
Let him in.
And he's pissed.
Fuck.
Yeah, so congratulations to all the winners. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. I don't know if y'all caught this when Michelle Yeoh was accepting every single one of her awards. Mm-hmm. The same conductor who started trying to play her off at the Golden Globes was the same conductor at the Oscars. And they got into a fucking fist fight.
Because
she threatened him before. So they got into a fucking fight,
That
and
was
the whole
crazy.
thing was televised.
And everyone was like, "Oh, this is just like the Will Smith thing all over again." But I think it was more impactful this time around
Yeah.
because Michelle, she did not slap. I was gonna say fisted. That's not what I meant. She hit with intent and purpose, and
that's only what we saw on TV. I mean,
Right.
who knows what happened during the commercial break?
And it's crazy to me because there was immediate backlash for Will Smith, remember? And then I think it was his decision to like step away from the Academy.
Mhm.
And Michelle Yeoh was actually praised. So that was weird. The Academy gave her another award. She got 2 Oscars out of that.
And it's Women's History Month.
And
So she
that's
made history.
historic.
She made Oscars history for sure.
Yes.
She made women's history.
Yes. Fastest knockout at the Oscars. Congratulations, Michelle. You truly earned it.
And that was crazy. It was I think there was some streaking.
You think? No, we saw.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yeah,
we saw full meat and veg.
Meat, veg, potatoes.
All out.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really interesting is obviously, the thing that everyone was talking about at the end of the night, the Best Picture award.
And it went to the Banshees of Ed Sheeran.
I was setting up my own joke.
Sorry,
I cannot. Oh, okay. Now we have to move past this segment because I was setting up my own joke. John fucked it up.
Hang on. Go.
No, I'm not doing it. He's trying to edit it out like it didn't happen. I will always remember that happened. Never mind.
Kendra, you have to commit to the bit.
I was going to make a joke about how surprisingly Quantum Mania won Best Picture at the Oscars. Surprising everyone, including the filmmakers who they didn't know was
They didn't know they got nominated.
They had no idea. It was surprise. Fuck you. I hate you. Don't ever step on my jokes again. What else do you want to talk about today?
Listen, I thought we were doing a whole thing. I thought we were bouncing back.
You thought I was setting you up?
Yeah,
Never.
You set them up. I knock them out.
No, I don't think that's ever how it works. We set them up individually and knock them down individually.
I mean, sometimes I knock them down.
That's equality. Yeah, sometimes you swing and miss.
I would say more often I swing and I miss. But I have an adventurous spirit. That's a lie. I fucking don't. We were
no.
I was teaching a class today, and we're all checking in and talking about spring break and all that. And I realized, some of these kids were talking about how they're like going with their family on a cruise, or they're going to see Wicked, and they're doing this and they're doing that. I'm like, damn, that must be fucking nice. I have to work.
Yeah, I don't think it's that you lack an adventurous spirit. I think we're just poor and have been our whole lives.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do any of that stuff.
I'm like, I'm excited to, take a nap.
You know what? And that, quite frankly, is as exciting and pleasurable as seeing Wicked. I'd rather take a fucking nap.
Yeah, than see Wicked.
I'm sorry, Wicked. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's explore that a little bit.
Okay, here's the thing. I've already seen Wicked. That's one.
I've never seen Wicked.
That's crazy. I went and saw it in Tampa. I told you this story. Me and my mom went after school every day to try to get lottery tickets because, again, poor. And we never got them. But on the days when they had the lotteries afterwards, they would but they would offer discounted tickets.
Because you're trying to get meat in the seats.
Right, because they still had, obviously, seats to sell. So we got discounted tickets one night. It was a Wednesday night, and I was miserable the next day because I was way past my bedtime.
Right.
And I remember it being good. I don't remember much more than that. But, I mean, it's Wicked. I'm excited for the movie. I'll watch that because I can watch that from home.
You're going to have to watch more of the movie than you did the show because that movie is going to be 2 movies.
What?
Did you know that? They're splitting it into 2
2
movies. Wicked parts 1 and 2.
I get... what? Never mind. Never mind. I'll be nice.
You don't have to. I think it's a stupid idea.
What is so groundbreaking in Wicked that it can't be cut? What out of... Whatever.
Even if my thing is, even if they don't cut anything, how the fuck are you getting to presumably
How long
2-hour
is the show,
movies?
the stage show?
I don't know. You told me you saw it. I'm imagining
it felt like 8 hours because I was in my teens.
I would say probably
3 hours,
2-ish hours with intermission.
Hours. Okay, but would you go see a 2.5 hour Wicked movie?
I mean, would I go? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you probably would. You fucking loser. You nerd. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll pull a Breaking Dawn Part 2, and in the middle of it, everyone will just die, and then they'll be like, oh, that was an alternate reality.
Well, I heard that they are they're ending the movie mid-riff of Defying Gravity.
Mm-hmm. And then picking up where they left off.
And so, yeah, so you're going to hear, and then fucking blackout credits. And then in 2020 fucking 6 or whatever, whenever the next one comes out, you're going to get, yeah, it's just going to be
it's going to be that one, that version of the riff. I mean, that is one thing to look forward to, though, hearing that riff. We've heard so many iterations of that riff. Yeah, all of them annoying, and I can't wait to see what comes out this time around.
It'll be Cynthia Erivo, so I mean,
so it'll be better than everyone else.
But then we also have to deal with Ariana Grande.
I think Ariana Grande will be fine because when Ariana Grande has to enunciate, she does.
Yeah,
and she's a great singer, so I think she'll be fine.
Loathing, unadulterated loathing.
Is that from? I don't know. I was asleep, apparently, during this whole film.
I've heard it said that people come...
You're going to get this whole shit DMCA'd.
Listen.
Alphaba is very litigious.
My buddy...
My buddy,
the wizard himself, Steven Schwartz, said I can do whatever the fuck I want. That because he heard that one college video of mine where I was saying Lost in the Wilderness, and he said, wow, brilliant. If y'all can see the fucking look.
So what else do you want to talk about today?
If y'all can see the look that Kendra just gave me. We're bringing a chaotic energy to this episode.
The thing is that my look matched the look of everyone at home. We all looked at you the same way.
In their respective
with contempt and ill will.
Oh, ill will?
Ill will. And hatred.
Yo, that's fucked up.
Disgust.
All right. Well, I guess, listen, they're kicking me out. Shout out to Jeb Bush. No, fuck that guy. Let's move on. Mando talk, all about that Mando talk. Mando's back, baby.
Yes, very exciting. It's been so long. Kind of. I feel when did season 2 premiere?
When did season 2 premiere?
Yeah.
Cry me a river. I think it was in 2021 sometime.
Okay.
I think
because it just feels like it's been so long, and I know that we basically got Mandalorian season 2.5 in the middle with Boba Fett, but I don't know. It feels like coming home. If you guys don't know, I love The Mandalorian. The show. The person, the actor playing the person, not the two other ones. Sorry, you guys, you're fine. But Pedro Pascal specifically, I love them. So I'm very excited. And so far, I really like,
it's been 2 episodes.
It's been 2 episodes. We're just setting stuff up.
Right.
But I like where they're going with it so far. Are we doing spoilers or no?
By the time this comes out, that other episode will... it's Monday. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking in past tense.
It's already Monday. The Oscars already happened.
And yeah, Kevin Feige helped beat up the conductor from the Oscars.
Yes. Yeah. So when we were in Boba Fett, I thought that this season was going to be Din being basically deprogrammed from a cult. Mm-hmm. And so far, that's the opposite of what's happening. But I think we still have time. And yeah, we're just still in that kind of like setup phase. But I like everything we've seen so far because I like my two boys together. Bo-Katan Kryze is, she's going through it.
Yeah, she is.
And I feel bad, but at the same time, like girl boss.
Where's Casca Reeves?
Well, I think she'll be there eventually.
She's in Space Japan.
New Space Japan World Wrestling.
Ooh, the MWL, the Mandalorian Wrestling League.
The Moist.
Fuck, they did do that. You know what?
Sorry.
Shout out to Moist Critical. But yeah, I've also really enjoyed everything we've seen so far. I can really appreciate that now that in like season 2 and with Book of Boba Fett, we've been kind of tying some like storylines together that are going to lead to, I presume, some sort of Avengers style team up between several of these characters. But I can appreciate in these first 2 episodes so far that we're really exploring the Mandalorian lore, or the Mandalorian, if you will. Yeah. For all the Fandalorians out there. And yeah, I don't know. I've really liked that that we've just been kind of refocusing on Din and Grogu and their story. It's just, I don't know. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm excited to see where the season goes. I have a feeling, and maybe I'm just being hopeful, I do have a feeling something big is coming along for Din. Don't know what that is.
Hope it's him being deprogrammed from this cult.
Yeah. Part of me is wondering, and this, who knows? Who the fuck knows? But like, was there not a Mandalorian Jedi at one point?
I think there was one.
So wouldn't it be crazy if Din is the next?
You think he's a Jedi?
I think maybe he eventually could learn to be one with the Force.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
I think if anyone's going to be a Mandalorian Jedi, it's going to be Grogu. So
yeah, that makes a lot more sense, actually.
Do you think by the end of this season, we will get a little Grogu Mandalorian helmet made to accommodate his big ass ears? Oh my God.
I don't know about that, but I do think that we may get one word by the end of the season. One coherent word.
Do you think we're going to get Pelly? If he's going to say anything, that's most similar to what he already says.
I would rather it be that, because it's funny. I can't think about the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. Folks listening at home, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like this. I don't think I have ever cried so hard to a season finale of TV as I did with that. I don't know what it was. I think maybe it was the combination of like, we were all in lockdown, so just like having something to be so like happy about was super overwhelming. Or just the beautifully heartbreaking storytelling they were doing with this man and this puppet.
And the fact that puppet is so incredibly cute, like designed to be the cutest thing you've ever seen.
And Luke Skywalker was there.
And the music. I think the music played a big part in it, because the music, when I think about it, that's what makes me like emotional.
And I'm a sucker for music.
He's crying right now, guys.
I could cry. If I think about it too long, I'll cry. So I would rather he say Pelly or some other like frog or something.
If he says Din,
I'm or dad
out the window.
Or father.
No. He won't say dad. Because like, I don't know. I feel like kids repeat what they hear a lot of. And no one's really calling him dad.
Or if he says, "This is the way."
Yeah, that's going to be his first words. This is the way.
This is the way. Well, either way,
so
I would rather him say something cute, cookie, something, than
frog.
Than him fucking saying something super sentimental and making me cry all over again.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we're going to get anything that level again. That was huge.
I can't believe they even did that.
I can't believe they did that either.
Season 2? Luke?
Yeah, it was
crazy.
Very brave.
But yeah, I'm excited for the season, and it's been a great week for you, because you've had your week start with The Last of Us, and then midweek through you get some Mandalorian,
and then every day in between that I get pictures through TikTok and videos and Hot Ones interviews, and yeah, I've been eating very well this year.
You've been famished.
That's the opposite.
No, I know you were famished.
I were. Yeah. And now I'm not.
And now, yeah.
Um.
Anywho.
I love that man.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway. You love him too. You saw his interview. You love him.
I did. I think, yeah, I gotta say, he's got the Riz.
He's got the Riz.
I think that's what the kids say.
Yeah. He does have the Riz, and also he's weird. The whole last
weird.
part of him losing his mind during that interview.
The Hot
If you
Ones
guys
interview?
haven't seen the Hot Ones interview, when he's supposed to be promoting his many, many very popular projects, he goes off on this fucking tangent, and it's like hearing a crazy old man and just going off.
He gave real theater kid energy there in that whole interview.
Yeah.
But that interview in particular, it was very theater kid.
Yeah.
I should know.
Yeah, you would know.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know too because I made fun of those kids.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
No, I was.
You make fun of me.
I do make fun of you.
Yeah. But
what are you gonna do?
Wait, what?
Nothing.
What are you gonna do? Well, I'm not doing shit.
Wimp. Yeah. What's next, John?
All right. So moving into the trades a little bit. Disney CEO Bob Iger, the bitch is back, Bob Iger, and he's swinging his sword.
Okay.
Yeah, you thought I was going to say something different.
I don't know what
he had some comments on Marvel and Star Wars, as well as a whole lot of other Disney-related things. But in particular, he had some interesting comments in regards to where they are going with the Star Wars film franchise and also the MCU, the future of the MCU in certain ways. So I don't know. I attached an article here from Deadline, just so those listening at home, if y'all want to take a look at it, see the actual comments he made. I'm kind of paraphrasing a lot of this here, but basically, Disney and Lucasfilm all together, they recently canceled. They shelved 2 of their Star Wars film projects.
Oh,
the Patty Jenkins directed Rogue Squadron, no longer happening, or at least it's not moving forward anytime soon. And there was supposed to be a Kevin Feige produced Star Wars film,
okay,
which has also been shelved. Now there have been no details about that, so like to say that it's shelved, I'm like it was probably not even a movie yet. It was probably more of an idea.
Yeah.
So there was that, and they are moving forward with Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, but I don't know when exactly that's going to be released just yet. I think there's probably a release date for it somewhere out there. And basically his comments were, look, Solo bombed, so we're going to be real careful about, what we release next. We want to make sure when we release something in terms of Star Wars movies, it's going to be the right thing at the right time. It's interesting they use that movie as a specific thing.
Because there are multiple movies that I know people...
Well... That's the thing. Even the other movies that people didn't like, they still made money, a good amount of money.
Yeah.
But Solo did not make that money. But I still find it interesting that was the one that they're like, oh, now we have to be careful.
Name drop that one.
We released 2 movies after that, but we still got to be careful about.
Well, my thing is, you should be careful about every movie you make and release it the right thing at the right time.
Right.
That should go without saying.
Yeah, when you have money the way y'all have money, I mean,
stop fucking around with it.
Right.
That goes more into the next thing too.
Right. And yeah, so in addition to that, he basically is hinted that Disney wants to kind of rethink the approach to the MCU. Now this I have several thoughts on myself. I'm sure you do as well. Mm-hmm. So basically what he's saying is that they don't want to change necessarily the quality of the content, although I think changing this next thing would enhance the quality. But rethinking the volume, the amount of content that comes out at any point in time from Marvel. But what was really interesting to me was the idea of applying that really to sequels. Because he said, something to the effect of, well, we've always done really well with sequels, but the question really is, do we need a third or a fourth? Or when do we start pivoting to new characters and trying to tell new stories? So I'm like,
Okay.
interesting. I do agree, and believe you me, I'm not one of those people that is like superhero fatigue. Oh, blah 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 blah. Give it to Papa. But I will say, for Marvel's brand, I do think they could only benefit from just slowing down just a bit. Pay your VFX workers, but slow down just a bit and like really focus on one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think fatigue is, yeah, it's kind of too strong a word for my feelings, because I don't mind eating well.
Right.
But I think when I read this little section that you put in there, I think about all of the Marvel shows that we got back to back to back, and how some were great and some were not, and some started great and ended bad, and vice versa. And yeah, I think that if they were to implement like a little bit of a slower release schedule, like you said, it would inherently improve the quality. I was just talking to my friend earlier today, Catherine. Hey, Catherine, about multitasking versus monotasking. Multitasking will lead to you doing 8 things at 0.5% of quality. Monotasking, focusing part of your time on one thing to make sure it's done very, very well, I feel like is the better move, especially for something like creating art.
Right.
Especially creating stuff that people are already trying to look for ways to poke holes in it. Like, don't give them any opportunity. And if that means slowing down, taking extra time to make sure that the story is solid and the effects are solid, every piece of the filmmaking process is solid.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial. And in the meantime, there's so much other stuff. There's so much stuff out there. There's so much stuff within Disney's own brand to focus on. It's not like people are going to forget that they like a superhero movie if you wait a few years before giving us a sequel or giving us a team-up movie. I don't think that that's going to happen with the way that Marvel set itself up in the past. Like, it's not, it shouldn't be a concern. So because of that, yeah, take your time. Take your time to do things right.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting. And I mean, because the last Bob who was there kind of screwed the pooch for a lot of folk.
Ooh,
yeah.
Tomato.
But now they're like, we got to save money. Unfortunately, they are laying off like thousands of people. Not down with that. But in terms of just, the things that I directly consume, we directly consume, I'm not mad at these comments. Like I said, I particularly with the MCU stuff, I'm totally fine with them, kind of slowing down. I'm curious. I think it just also depends on what characters land, what stories land. I do not worry, but like I preemptively worry that this might be code for the people on the internet say they don't like my things. I better do what they say. And I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't know. You can also see it the opposite way. People on the internet love instant gratification. And if you give someone a ton of whatever they want back to back to back, because that's what they were really excited for, then I don't know, that's not good either.
Right.
So I feel you just can't listen to people on the internet. I mean,
the only thing they have to listen to is what the box office says, and Kendra.
Yeah, true.
So if a movie makes like crazy money, I also think some of those comments come off of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania because it had like the steepest drop, the second steepest drop for a second weekend for any of their own movies. Which I mean isn't surprising. It's not. I mean, I guess it's when you think about how well Black Panther 2 did, but also there was a lot
different circumstances.
There's a whole lot of circumstances that don't apply to Ant-Man, but if you're just going by dollars, like, yeah, that can be kind of a jarring, jarring thing to witness. So anyway, I just thought this was an interesting bit of news going on in the fandoms.
We'll see how that plays out in the future with like future releases and stuff.
Right.
Is more going to be cut from what they've already like shared, or are we just going to see stark differences to future like D23 expos when they're announcing all of this stuff? Is it just going to be like barren compared to the last time?
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting, and I think that we'll start to see that probably after this year, unless they start like pressing pause on and like delaying releases. I also think maybe Disney with Bob Chapek kind of freaked out because nothing was released for so long due to the pandemic that they were like,
I think that's
everything out.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Like people can't forget about us.
We have to start recouping money as quickly as we possibly
can. And then they started burning through it. So anyway, super interesting. More to come on that over the next several months and years, I assume. All right, let's move on. We're moving into my favorite and yours, the world of WWE. At the top of our list here, y'all, we have got to talk about this. How Jey Uso tricked the world.
Yeah. What a moment. I was telling John when we were watching it, I was like, this is going to be something that they talk about on like WWE Rivals in fucking like 2050.
Right.
But yeah, it was a really, really cool moment. I love all of the stuff that they did with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. I think it, like we've said multiple times, kind of took everyone backstage by surprise how much people loved Sami Zayn with the Bloodline specifically, and now without it. But yeah, it was like a telenovela watching Jey like not embrace his own brother, his blood, his twin, and going up to Sami and giving him a hug. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, okay, this is the end. He chose a side. And in my head, I'm already thinking about future storylines. I'm like, okay, so are they going to now, like, who's going to get the tag team championship? Is it going to be Sami and Jey as a team against Jimmy and Solo? Like, is that what they're setting up? And then Jey starts backing up a little bit, and Sami's in front of him and off to the side. And John says, this looks like about the distance of a super kick.
And then what the fuck happened?
Then it happened. It was a super kick. And I believe, John, correct me if I'm wrong, was it a super kick with a white shoe?
Oh, I can't recall.
I can't remember. It felt like one. It smelled like one.
It gave the energy of one.
It gave me the energy of a white shoe, white-footed, super kick. I don't know. I've never said it on here, but I made this comparison to you, Jonathan. Let me know if this makes sense or if I'm mentally impaired. We already know that to be true. Super kicks with white sneakers, specifically sneakers, is the same as a Coca-Cola in a glass bottle. It's the best, most perfected version of itself. And when specifically the Usos or Carmella hit a super kick with a white shoe, I hear God in my ears. I feel him in my heart. Anyway, I did not hear God on this day because I love Sami Zayn and I just want him to have a friend, and everyone's betraying him left, right. Sure, he might have betrayed them first, but he doesn't have any friends anymore. And I thought, oh, maybe Jey.
I wouldn't say he doesn't have any friends anymore. He's got one pretty powerful friend right now.
The Lord.
The good Lord. No. The good Lord Cody Rhodes.
The good Lord Cody Rhodes, brother Cody. That's true. But yeah, it was everyone's faces in the audience was hilarious. We were shocked. I think we stood up.
We both jumped. We just went, oh shit.
Yeah, it was great. And then Jay was like, "You thought I would ever pick you?"
Right.
And
Just
they beat
really
the shit out of him.
digging in.
Oh my God. It was beautiful.
Yeah. What a moment. That was wow. That's crazy.
Has anyone in the WWE ever won an Emmy?
That's a good question.
If not, we need to look into that immediately.
Yeah. I mean, technically it's the longest like scripted series or,
It's
whatever.
true.
Because it's been on for,
Forever.
So
they need an Emmy. Give Sammy an Emmy. Give Jimmy an Emmy. Give Jay an Emmy.
It really is primetime television. I just tell people, I'm like, listen, it's you come for the story. You stay for the
hot, sweaty men.
For the hot, sweaty men slapping meat. But yeah, anyway, I thought it was a fucking moment and a half. I loved seeing how they responded to it. It still seems like there's some tension in the bloodline, but at least we kind of see where Jay is. He's there for the family. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested in seeing what it means post WrestleMania, because I don't know. Now I'm like, well, they're putting Sammy and Cody together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this makes me think, oh, well, maybe Cody loses at Mania and teams up with Sammy to go after the Usos titles for like Backlash or somewhere else.
I mean, that's very possible. There's a lot of talk now. I feel less secure than I did a few months ago about Roman Reigns losing his titles at WrestleMania.
I gotta say, I don't think he's losing them.
You don't think he's doing it? You think he's trying to get to the 1,000-day mark?
Right.
That's fair. That's a good, cool thing to get before you like fuck off for however long.
Well, I think about this. Now that we know what the next few premium live events are, like right now, like we know they're all, you got one in Puerto Rico, the first one in like 20 years. You've got the King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Money in the Bank at the O2 Arena. I'm like, Cody Rhodes is a star. But right now, in the world of WWE, is he a Roman Reigns level star?
Yeah. Is he an international pay-per-view star?
So
that's a good point.
I'm like, I don't know about that. And I think Roman would go out for some. They might not even need it. Well, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, so they would probably want Roman out there. But either way, I just think there's a lot of money to be made.
You can say that for a long time, though. That could be an excuse or an explanation to use for a long time.
I mean, people used to hold the titles for like years.
Yeah.
So
I think he'll be done whenever he doesn't want the responsibility of it anymore, and he wants to take a fucking break.
Right.
And get on his private jet to go to his private island to sleep in his private bed. I don't know. And just relax for a while. Him and his 20 kids.
Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that out because it continues to be just fantastic television. Mm-hmm. Some other cool things that happened in the world of WWE. Found out at SmackDown that Rey Mysterio is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Woo! I mean, what a career. Talk about someone who deserves it.
I was going to guess that it was Rey Mysterio, but I thought he already was in the Hall of Fame. But that's a great choice. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
You mentioned that you think that might mean that he may retire soon.
I think he might retire soon.
And I wouldn't fucking blame him.
If they're gonna do a Rey and Dominic match,
I think that would be his final thing. Yeah.
Right.
And where would I think they might be saving that match for Backlash.
Right.
Because oh my God, could you imagine? But we'll see.
Right. But I mean, yeah, just like from his WCW days, all the way up until coming back in the last few years, and he's still like, I think Edge mentioned like people won't fully appreciate Rey until he's retired. And you see a little bit more, like, I mean, everyone gets hyped every time Rey Mysterio comes out, but I feel like he is left out of the conversation a lot, in terms of his impact and just his popularity.
Yeah.
That I kind of think that's true. I kind of think that once he's like done, I mean, he started super young. Like he was like 15. Yeah. Like, so, and he moves just as well as he ever has. I think he could continue to go for another 10 years if he really wanted to. But
that seems exhausting.
Yeah. Like he's just one. His kids are both adults now. I think he's only got the 2. His kids are adults now. And like, yeah, I'd be like, man, I want to fucking retire.
Yeah.
Or he'd probably be a coach.
I think he'd do other stuff, or like run a gym or something.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I was super hyped because I for whatever reason, I didn't think that if you're on the main roster currently that you could be inducted. But that's what makes me think that he might be retiring soon. But either way, super happy about that. And I'm excited to see what that's. I hope they leave. I have a feeling they're going to have Dominic come out there and start some shit. But I really hope they don't do that to Rey. I want him to have his moment. Yeah,
at the induction ceremony.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Rey Mysterio. Moving right along, the WrestleMania card. People, man, I fucking hate wrestling Twitter. People were complaining about the WrestleMania card. They're like, oh, the hype seems like such shit this year. It's not going to be good and blah, 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 blah. Like, y'all, we're still like a month and a half out. Now we're like, 3 weeks away. Like, just let it sizzle. Let it marinate a little bit.
Let them cook.
Let them fucking cook. And like, yeah, there could be certain stories that you're like, I don't know about all that right now. The Bobby Lashley, Bray Wyatt stuff. Okay, whatever, fine. They need to get there.
Brock Lesnar and Omos.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Although I think I'm actually excited for that match, and I'll tell you why. I think they're going to use that as the vehicle to reunite the Hurt Business. I think Brock Lesnar loses either via DQ or whatever because the Hurt Business is officially back together and taking down Brock Lesnar.
Will the Hurt Business now include Omos?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Omos, Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin.
Yes, I knew it was another like double first name person.
That's what I'm anticipating. Because I'm like, there's no way they're just doing this match just to do it.
It's so out of nowhere.
Right.
It's Omos and his 3 dads.
Right. 4 dads. MVPs.
Oh, and MVP. Yeah, fair. I think, that makes sense. Plus, with all of like the little, I love what WWE has been doing lately with putting like story kind of in the background of other people's segments.
Right.
Because it makes me want to pay attention when it's just like an interview. I'm always looking in the background. Where's Uncle Howdy? I always want to keep an eye on Howdy. Something tells me, oh my gosh, how creepy would it be if at the end of like this season, they were like, you guys didn't know it, but Uncle Howdy was in every scene of every episode of every show that we did. And they go back and he's always in the shadows.
I heard that Uncle Howdy was in Scream 6.
I heard Uncle Howdy was on at January 6th.
Oh, shit.
Where was he on that day? Anyway.
Holy shit. Wow.
But yeah, I like how they've been doing that. And the whole Hurt Business, like regrouping has been like happening in the background.
Right.
It's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, me too. So like I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna freak the fuck out just yet. Also because they've been teasing some really good matches. I really hope they do just continue with the triple threat for the Intercontinental title.
I think that would be good.
Although I would be happy with either of those dudes facing off against Gunther, either Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. But I really would love to see a triple threat. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, I mean, we officially got Damage Control versus tag champs Lita and Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus. Radish. And yeah, I don't know. I think the card. I think it's going as well as it could right now, and I think I'm super excited. It's WrestleMania. Yeah. What's not to be excited about?
I'll complain after.
Right. If it's dog shit, then it's dog shit. But like, I'm super excited for the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. I'm super excited for Asuka and Bianca. I'm not worried. The only match we don't know, which I think it'll be interesting to see which direction they go, is the Usos challengers. Like, we haven't gotten that yet. So if they're competing or not. I was a little disappointed, but I mean, there's an injury that happened with their title defense last year. And like, I get it. It's fine. And one would assume that it'd be KO and Sammy, but they haven't done that. Although there was that like you were just talking about, that interview that was happening. I can't remember who was interviewed, but we saw Cody Rhodes talking to Kevin Owens. So like, who knows? Maybe he's getting in his ear and saying, "Hey,
we need help with our boy Sam."
So super excited about that. And yeah, we have a couple more weeks before WrestleMania, so I'm sure the card will continue to be updated. People were complaining that Triple H made a comment, something along the lines of like, you know, basically not having as many matches. And people were like, "Oh man, Triple H L and blah 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 blah."
That's the thing. I feel like we've had less matches since Triple H has taken over at like everything. Right. I feel like we've had way less matches for like Raw. And guess what? It's better.
Right.
Because every match is a full match and not like three squashes in one fucking show. I'm okay with less matches as long as the matches that we get in exchange are meatier, more well rehearsed, and it just bigger and better. Like I who would want quantity over quality in this scenario?
And if I have to get a couple less matches so that way I can get 2 banger ass elimination chamber matches, so be it.
So be it. That's what we're there for.
Theory and John Cena.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. That was a cool promo they had.
We knew that was gonna. Yeah, that was coming.
But man, John Cena really coming for the freaking jugular in his promo. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure the card will continue to be updated up until the very last minute. So super excited. We already mentioned a little while ago, but yeah, King of the Ring is making its return as a premium live event, but now rebranded as King and Queen of the Ring. Because it used to be this whole big thing. It was its own pay-per-view. Yeah. And then they just moved it onto TV, and it kind of was like, whatever.
Yeah, that's the only exposure of King and Queen of the Ring that I had was when they had that one competition last year. Right. And then they just it was a thing for a few months, and then they never brought it up again.
Right.
They mentioned during SmackDown this past week that Xavier Woods was a past King of the Ring. And I'm like, he's still technically, currently the King of the Ring.
Right.
But so I had no idea that it used to be like a bigger thing. So I'm really interested to see how that pay-per-view goes. It'll be cool to have that in Saudi Arabia, especially having Queen in the title. I like that. Yeah. And
they're like, if we're gonna have to be there, we're gonna really push the line over things we can do.
Yeah. And also seeing what they do afterwards with it. Is it going to be another thing where it's like, it's a thing for 3 months and then we never mention it again? Or is it going to be actually impactful and meaningful going forward?
Right. Well, I mean, we'll see. Because they do that a lot. They've done that a lot in the past where people will take those as gimmicks and run with it for a while. And then just over time, they get rid of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that continues to happen.
Yeah.
That's just kind of part of the deal,
I guess you can't be that be your whole thing for a year. I guess it could be, but it'd have to be done really, really well so it didn't get annoying.
Moving right along, this is a really big piece of news that came out. Bad Bunny making his return to WWE. He's going to be the host of Backlash, no longer titled WrestleMania Backlash. It's going back to its original name, Backlash, in Puerto Rico. And it's the first WWE live event in like almost 20 years in Puerto Rico. So super cool news. I'm so excited for them.
Yeah.
Just because you all see like how big of a fan base professional wrestling in general has in the Latin community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why not take advantage of the fact that you can go to Puerto Rico, and also you have, one of the biggest stars on the planet,
right,
to host,
who happens to love WWE. Yeah,
right.
I think that's. I think it's awesome. It's a smart move. I think we were talking about this years ago. Well, as far back as we've been watching. Why don't they take advantage of that? And I think we were talking about Puerto Rico and Mexico, like having more shows in those two places. Because, and it'll be a good chance for WWE to showcase talent, like Latin talent, especially Puerto Rican talent, because they have so many Puerto Ricans on the roster. Some surprising Puerto Ricans as well.
So I'm super excited for this. I can only imagine the energy they're gonna feel, the energy we're gonna see getting to watch that. I'll have to buy my own Puerto Rican flag and just wave it around here in the.
I'm surprised you don't have one already.
I know. It's because it lives in my blood.
Oh my god!
It pumps through my veins. I just thought that was a super super cool piece of news, and I'm super excited about it. So we're gonna get some fun stuff this year. And this last bit of it's not really news. It's just more of a revelation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was scrolling on TikTok a few days ago, and this clip of this interview with Cody Rhodes comes up. It was from @YoJosh Martinez. He is host. He's a radio host as well as host of the podcast Superstar Crossover. And he was interviewing. He interviews WWE superstars and other wrestlers, I assume. He was interviewing Cody Rhodes, and he asked Cody Rhodes a question I found fascinating. He asked him if he was Latino. And Cody Rhodes' answer was fascinating. He was like, "Yeah, my mother's Cuban," and I was like, "What?" Brother Cody
Jamal Rhodes.
Cody Jamal Javier Martinez Rhodes. He's Cubano?
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he's shy to he's a bit shy to admit that because. He's like, well, look at me.
Yeah.
And also listen to me.
Look at a lot of Cubans.
Right. I'm like, listen, you don't look that much different, especially when your hair was dark.
Yeah.
But I just found that so fascinating that, he's the American nightmare is half Cuban.
Yeah.
And
Very
so anyway.
Cool.
Super cool to learn that. And I think you put it so eloquently yesterday that how can Cody Rhodes be so many things at once?
He's white, he's black, he's Cuban.
Yeah,
I don't know how he does it.
He's a walking United Nations.
But I think it's cool that he's saying stuff like that openly on podcasts because being uncomfortable with your ethnicity because you aren't enough of it or whatever is so.
That's such a thing. I deal with that.
I deal with that. Yeah, that's so relatable.
Right.
So the more he talks about it, I'm sure the more people in the same boat will see that.
Yeah, and I go back to what I just said a little while ago in regards to the Bad Bunny news. You know how much of a fan base there is in the Latin community for wrestling? Listen. The Latins, they'll draft you. I think that this dude Josh Martinez said something similar, and I thought it was funny, so I wanted to get in on that action.
It'd be like when on the Chappelle Show, the black delegation and the Asian delegation fought over Wu-Tang Clan.
Exactly.
It'd be the same thing, but the black delegation and the Cuban delegation. Because he's not even part of the white delegation. We've already claimed him as our own.
Yeah. Y'all fucked that one
I've
up.
seen that picture of him with Martin Luther King Jr. I've seen it.
Civil rights activist Cody Rhodes.
Cody, I never got to say Happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
To you and yours, my guy.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you did for civil rights.
And on that same podcast, or that same at Yo Josh Martinez, he did an interview with Karrion Kross, who went on to reveal he is a loud, proud New Yorican. He is Puerto Rican, and he talked about, he's like, I never felt the need to play a character who is all about being Puerto Rican, because that's kind of just who I am. I've got my boxing trunks, I've got my flags, my jerseys. And
you're getting lapped by Karrion Kross. You need a flag. You need the boxing gloves in your car.
Right. So I was like, it's just so fascinating. Again, I like didn't know that.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Because truly, we just be looking like anybody.
It's true.
And everybody. But yeah, I just thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, every time we ever go to an event now, I'm just gonna have signs that say like, Karrion Kross is Puerto Rican.
Did you know? I had no idea.
Hermano Cody. But yeah, so anyway, thought we'd end on some fun news there. Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for us here. Thank y'all for tuning into this edition of Ringside. If you haven't already, please follow us on all the various social medias: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube.
That's it.
Follow us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just be sure to check us out. If you're not already, I think I mentioned Twitch. Follow us on Twitch. Every now, every meow, and again, we'll do our pre-per-view streams, where it's our pre-talk show, our premium live event pre-show, excuse me, where we just kind of talk up and down the card, and what we think is going to happen, what we want to happen, this, that, and the third. And also, Kendra has her own little series she does on the Twitch channel. I'll let her talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I play through different games. Dating sims for some reason. And I'm currently playing through Dream Daddy. It's been a hot second since I streamed an episode, but I do stream those live on Twitch. And then I edit them down to include only the funny parts and not the parts of me talking about random shit. And I put those on YouTube. So episodes 1 through 3,
I think so,
are up on YouTube now. And make sure you're following us on Twitch to see me live when I eventually read the next part.
Those are just some kind of fun little pop-ups we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everybody. I'm sorry about him. Bye.
Okay, bye.